Okay, let us talk about the second episode of the second season of Real Housewives of Lagos. I am Ronke, just in case you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you're just in my channel, welcome. I hope you stay. Like the video if you enjoy watching, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments in the comment section. Let's chat about this second episode. And I did get a comment or two about you guys wanting more clips from the show. I mean, it's hard because of copyright issues, but I will try and see how I can flex my way through putting clips here and there for you guys to better enjoy this review or this recap. So trust me and believe me when I say you're going to enjoy this recap. This episode opened up with Iyabo driving a man's car. She was very intentional about telling us she was driving a man's car. And, she talked about how she feels like a princess driving his car. We got to meet a man called Polo. He was at the dining eating and, he ushered her to come eat. He made the meal, was raving about his cooking skills. And, they were just chatting and throwing banters here and there. And whilst they were at the middle of the conversation, his daughter walked in. That's Polo's daughter, who happened to be 25-year-old. And Iyabo mentioned that she has a 23-year-old boy and a 21-year-old girl. And, Polo has a 25-year-old girl and a 21-year-old boy. So, it kind of fits like a glove. Both of them have 2 kids each and, they are both mature. Kids are mature. They're in their 20s. Talked about how she was very intentional about unveiling or reviewing a man during her birthday. And if you guys follow her or you follow the news, there was a time during her birthday she posted about her man. That was when everybody got to know about him. I mean, most people. And I was one of those people that were actually genuinely happy for her, because if you know her story, like, she had to take care of her kids on her own. She hasn't really been married. I don't know if she got married and separated, but I mean, there's not been like she hasn't been tagged with a man for a very long time, and I was very happy to see that. I mean, the pictures, the videos online, they looked happy, and I was just one of those people that was genuinely happy for her. And we could see how she was very, very happy, smiling from here to here, talking about her man. And we saw her hug the daughter. They seem to have like a cordial relationship, or they seem to even be on a good term. It was nice to see the both of them chat and talk and be let into Iyabo's relationship world. So the next scene, we see Chioma visit Tania at her place, a gorgeous place, very simple. There wasn't a lot going on. Her place wasn't all gold, heavy gold, shiny things. They had conversations. Their conversation felt very natural. Even the way they were giggling and talking, it just felt like 2 friends that were genuinely catching up, not because of the camera or whatnot. And I really enjoyed their conversation. And Tania made mention of how a thigh cannot fit into Chioma's outfit. One of her thigh can't fit into Chioma's outfit. Just laughed about that. And Chioma made a promise to Tania that she was going to help her lose weight. And I like that, this is the second time we are seeing Tania talk about mom, post baby delivery body, how, the struggles of being a new mom, the baby weight, the new weight she has added on, and I feel like a lot of women watching will be able to, they'll be able to relate to that aspect of our story. And I feel like that's one of the things that most of these shows lack sometimes. They lack reality of the actual things that goes on in the lives of women. And I like that, Tania is representing new moms out there, or moms that are still struggling to get back to their old body size and all that. But I really enjoyed that she made mention of that.
I don't think you were 13. Unfortunately for her, and unfortunately for me, my one thigh will not fit into her clothes. Tanya, I'm on a mission to get you skinny, and I will. I want to be skinny again.
In the third scene, we saw that Mariam invited Tiana to her place to give her the OGs surrounding her sparkation event. And I was just like, now, wow. And she was going on and about, oh, I'm here to give my friend all the tea on what went down at my event. Just like your friend. In the previous episode, you talked about her so shabbily or so simple, like people are just there, people are not very great and all that. Now you are going on about my friend and, coming to give her gist, gossip. And of course, we knew she was going to gossip all through, and she did not fail to do that in this scene. Tiana arrived at her place. Tiana apologized for missing her event. Even though she sounded very sincere, but in her confessional, she did mention that, she went for business and she did not feel like she missed out on anything important or great from her events. And, basically saying she will pick her business over the event over and over again. So, when Tiana was settled in, Mariam wasted no time in going into the G. She mentioned Tania to Tiana, and Tiana was like, Tania, and she was like, you should know her now, Tania Omotayo. And in Tiana's confessional, she was like, oh, that she doesn't know Tania like that. Like, they chat on Instagram, they like each other's pictures. She doesn't know Tania, but she has heard about Tania's gist. And I'm just like, hey God, will they stop talking about this woman's saga? But I just guess that's how we humans are. They would not want to get past something like that. But
Friend. They did? Yes. Oh. You know Tanya? Tanya Omotayo. Oh, yeah, I know Tanya. Yeah, Tanya.
We always chat on Instagram. We like each other's pictures, but I'm not close to her. I don't know her, but I do know about her, and I do know her cheat.
And Mariam even went ahead to mention that, the friend that Laura invited is called Faith Murray. She was like, she has boobies. So people failed to tell her that, Faith came in with a long train, painted the whole scenario to Tiana. And, Tiana did mention that she doesn't think that she would have had an issue with the train. And even in her confessional, she said she doesn't think she would have taken offense by the fact that, Faith was overly dressed for the event, that she likes when people makes a difference. She likes when people try to stand out because that's the kind of person that she is. I'm like, okay, let's see how far that would go, how long that would go. Let's just say that they basically just met up, or Mariam just invited Tiana to her place to gossip about the other women. So also she did mention that she wanted to set up Tiana and Laurel to have a conversation, set them up together to gist and talk about their issues and see if they can come to a middle point. And Tiana was
okay. Anytime, any day. How about Chioma? Daniel. That's the second one. Anybody
like, she's fine, that she can turn up for Laura anytime, any day. She has no issues. I know Mariam decided to push her button more by saying, okay, what if she sets her up with Chioma? Tiana was like, Tanya, that money badge, like that rude girl, that she doesn't care about anybody, she doesn't see anybody, yada yada yada. And she basically she outrightly just confessed that she wasn't ready to mend things with Chioma. Like, everybody should be on their own lane. And we all know that that's actually how Chioma feels as well. So in the following scene, we see that Faith invited Laurel to like a home decor place for them to shop for Faith's apartment. They gisted and they joked about the entire Sparkation event, the whole saga, with our entrance and everybody's reaction. And they went further to talk about how, Laura brought it up and talked about how Iyabo stepped on her train, and that she liked the fact that Faith kept her composure and she didn't overly react like Iyabo or Joe would have expected her to, or like any other person, even with the viewers would have expected her to. And she still seemed very composed. She didn't even talk bad about Iyabo. She didn't say much on the whole thing, and they moved on from that. So they got personal. Laura mentioned to her that she'll be having like a Catholic white dream wedding coming up, that she's been married for 6 years, quite all right, but she wants to have like a Catholic wedding thing, and it's coming up soon. And Laura Faith was like, be ready to have the old Faith Murray, I'm coming my entrance, blah 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 blah. And they just gisted and they chatted. At least they talked about something personal, aside from talking about other people for the entire duration of their shopping this thing, unlike the other women would do, or like Mariam most especially would do. Saw Chioma and her friend at her own place, that's Chioma's place, sorting out her closet for her upcoming yard sale. They were smiling, and she picked up a dress and she asked her friend if she remembers who gave her that dress, and it happened to be her ex-boyfriend. And the way Chioma was even smiling about this ex-boyfriend, it seemed as if they didn't end on a bad note. It just felt like maybe they came to a mutual decision to go their separate ways, because she was still smiling about it and she wasn't even saying anything from a place of malice or spite. And because she brought up her ex-boyfriend, her friend now went ahead to ask her about a new man, the person she's talking to now. And she was shying away from the topic, but she eventually said, oh, she is nice, is good, and she said really nice things about him, but he hasn't gifted her anything yet. I was like, wow, someone actively pursuing someone like Chioma and you've not even tried to impress her with one gift. I'm like, that's interesting to know, by the way. But she said that's her major concern. I mean, they communicate well, he's good to her, he's there for her and all that, but he hasn't given her anything. And her friend was like, if you claim that you guys communicate well, then you should be able to communicate that to him, that I mean, I like, my love language is gifts, and I would love to receive gifts from you. And Chema was like, he knows, but these Lagos boys, when a woman says she wants things from you, they just tag you as a gold digger, forgetting that the things you're asking from them is not something you cannot afford on your own, but you just want them to give you. And she believes that relationship is all about receiving, giving and receiving. And I'm like, yes to that. Like, the whole thing about giving and receiving, of course, I agree with that statement that she made. But let me know what you thought in the comment section. The next thing, we saw the Faith meet up with Iyabo at the beach. And, when Faith was walking into the beach area, the cabana where they were meeting, Faith was working with her security. And she made mention that she likes to walk around with her security because she's wearing money, she has money, and she wants to feel safe and secured. I'm like, okay, but on the second thought, I was just like, you're not a celebrity, ma'am. Like, if not for this show, a lot of when you're working, aside from your car or, a lot of people will not know who you are exactly. To know that, okay, you wear money. Some people that actually know the items you're wearing, but I feel like the whole security thing is like calling attention on yourself. But anyway, well, everybody does whatever seem fit for them. But we saw her settle in, then Iyabo arrives. Iyabo wearing something very simple. I mean, Faith was something simple as well. But I really like that Iyabo's outfit was very appropriate for beach. It was screamed beach. It was nice, nice, nice. And she arrived and she sees that Faith is with her bodyguard. She was like, hello, excuse me, I don't understand. If I were to be the one coming with a bodyguard, I would understand because I'm the celebrity, I am known. And I just I don't want to dissect or talk about that whole scenario because, as I already said, everybody will do whatever seems fit for them. I know they settled in, and they kicked off their conversation by talking about Iyabo's man. Faith asks about Amanda, how is he doing? And she's like, oh, he's fine, he's traveling, but at some point I'll meet up with him because I'm also going to be traveling. We'll meet somewhere. I know we could tell that Iyabo is really enjoying our relationship with Polo, and she's happy, and she's blessed and she's grateful, and she was very happy to gist about her with Faith. So Faith went further to mention that she wants to be an actress and she feels like she would like tips and recommendations, suggestions from Iyabo. And Iyabo was like, in her confession, she was like, okay, she wants to be an actress. Well, she's already acting, is moving around with bodyguard, she's already acting out the celebrity lifestyle. So okay, I'm not surprised. Faith was like, acknowledge Iyabo being the right person for her to meet up with, to ask for advice on how to get into the industry. And with the way she was applauding Iyabo and giving her all her flowers and all that, you could tell that Faith really respects this woman. In fact, it is very clear to a blind person that this lady has so much respect for Iyabo and her craft. And it just makes me very much disappointed at how Iyabo acted out to her when they first of all met. But that's in the past.
By meeting the right people.
Yes. I have one in front of me. Okay. All right, I have one of the best.
Thank you.
I've watched the TikTok videos. Yes. Honey, you can go from being a pastor to being, ooh, yes.
Iyabo mentioned in her confessionals that, okay, if Faith wants to be in the movie industry, she wants to have a breakthrough in the industry, she has to work hard, and she has to break a sweat a bit. And I would agree with her. And she mentioned that you have to let go of all this glam and whatnot. And I'm just like, yeah, I agree with her. She Faith that is coming to the beach side, that she's carrying standing fan, moving with security, working prim and proper. I mean, I'm not saying don't work prim and proper, but she acts so, I don't know how to put it. If you get what I mean, then I don't have to say anything, but basically saying she has to really let go and be really involved, and know that she has to really put in a lot and not even bother about looking good all the time, working late hours, the baggy eyes, missing sleep, working late nights and all that. I'm just like, can Faith really make those sacrifices? But we've not really seen Faith in like a work mode, so I can't really say much about that. But I really agree with Iyabo saying she has to. It takes a lot from you to actually become, the star that you want, especially when it comes to that industry, because it's very, very saturated. Everybody knows now that you need more than a fine face, a banging body to make to break through in the movie industry or in any industry. Well, the movie industry. So the conversation progressed to them talking about the old train issue, the old spa saga, and Iyabo stepping on her train. And Iyabo was like, what did upset her about the whole thing was the fact that she felt like she deliberately overdressed for the event. That first time she met her, that was the time they met, she and her daughter met at Faith workspace, that she went to check her on Instagram and she saw that even though she reveals a lot of skin, she still dressed appropriately for the event. But it felt like she deliberately did that when she was coming to meet with the ladies. And in Faith's defense, she was like, she's meeting up with new ladies, new people, and she needs to make an impression. Iyabo just still maintain her point that she felt like she's not dressing appropriately. She deliberately did it, saying she doesn't dress on her socials. I'm just like, Iyabo, can you drop this matter? If someone will say she wants to wear clothes on her socials and walk naked in real life, it's alive. Just drop it already. But one thing I did not fail to notice was Iyabo didn't apologize for stepping on Faith's train. And you could just tell that she didn't feel sorry about it. So there was really no need for her to apologize if she didn't acknowledge that something was wrong with that act. So when they were done with that conversation, Faith mentioned that she invited Laura as well to the gathering. And in Iyabo's confessional, she was like, she didn't feel the need for Laura to be there. She doesn't want to be the third wheel. She doesn't want to be Laura's friend's friend. And she was feeling uncomfortable. And so when Laura walked in, looking good, nice, they hugged, they exchanged pleasantries. Iyabo told them that she was leaving already. And it felt weird. It felt like it was very obvious that Iyabo was leaving because Laura was there. And according to what Chioma said, when Iyabo later relayed the message to, relayed the whole incident to Iyabo doesn't really care for Laurel, and Iyabo just feels like there's no point pretending. If I'm uncomfortable here, it's high time I leave. So in the next scene, we see Chioma on the phone with her love interest, a man, and they were talking. And she went to check on her businesses, and she did talk about how hard and crazy it is to run not one but 5 businesses in Lagos, and how she just wants to make sure that she's making money. And we saw her on the phone, like I already said, with her man. And she didn't say much about him, and she didn't have anything to complain about, but she was like, he's still in the race of winning her heart. And that was that with that scene. The next thing, we saw Faith meet up with Dr. Romel. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name well. And if people can take if you can take your minds back to the last episode, I didn't really have pleasant things to say about him. I just felt like that scene was just off for me. So when I saw that she was meeting up with the man again, I was just like, God, I beg. So I have to go through this torture. Anyway, let me see how this scene goes. So midway she spoke about him going to see him and his family. It looks like they had beyond work relationship, like they were friends. And I was like, okay, whatever. And when she got to his place, she was settled in and immediately was asking for the tea. It was like, I heard you went out with the ladies, give me all the tea. What went down? What happened? I'm sure they came for you. She talked about them. She didn't even mention the old train. She didn't mention the train thing to him. And I was like, wow, she didn't mention it to him. And even without that, he was still coming for the lady. He was saying, she was talking about the lady, saying nice things about them, make slight comments, throw jabs at them, and say things like, oh, I know you're the smartest of them, or I know you're the prettiest of them, or... And when Faith mentioned Chioma, and she was like, oh, Chioma, that... And Faith mentioned that, Faith, Chioma is intelligent, she's smart, she's very composed, very eloquent, and all that. And it was like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't really know her. And, Faith was like, I know you don't know her. That's why I'm telling you these things about her. And it was like, well, it's one thing for you to tell me something, but words on the street say that she can be smart sometimes and she can be unsmart sometimes. Like, the way he puts it, that was very malicious for someone you've not even met one-on-one. I'll put the clip here for you guys to watch this. I already promised you guys clip in this video.
Yes. That's what I'm telling you.
A word on the street. Yes. Sometimes say she's smart, sometimes she's not. So I don't know. Let's see. Okay. We'll see.
Guys, can you see the reason why I can't seem to like this guy? Because why? And he kept pulling down the other women to compliment Faith. And you could tell that Faith was uncomfortable with what he was doing. And she did mention it that he's a pleasant guy, he's nice, he's friendly, but he tends to push some buttons that he shouldn't push. And I was just like, boy, I can't deal with you. Because of how this doctor was very keen on painting the women in certain light, Faith went ahead to invite him for, the yard sale that Chioma has coming up. And I was just like, you didn't even reach out to the person who is organizing the event to say if you can, invite somebody, but we'll see how that goes. But I just feel like the right thing to do is to inform the host that you're bringing somebody, inviting somebody, you're inviting somebody to the event. But anyways, so the next thing we saw Iyabo and Chioma meet for shopping, and they were gisting and they were laughing. It was good. And their relationship seems great. Iyabo mentioned that she met with Faith. I mentioned the whole Laurel situation and how she left and all that. And Iyabo and Chioma was like, but why did you leave? Like, why did you have to leave? And Iyabo was like, I don't care for Laurel. I just felt like it was just uncomfortable. It felt like a gang up, like, like two against one. And, just I'm paraphrasing, but that was like what she meant when she was talking to Chioma. And then, they moved on to talk about Tania. Chioma mentioned that she met with Tania and Tania is coming up for a yard sale. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. And then they proceeded to talk about Tiana. And Chioma wasn't even having it. She was like, she doesn't want to hear. And Iyabo pleaded with her and said Chioma should be the bigger person, invite her for, the yard sale, that she feels like it's high time they squash their their beef. And just like Iyabo, like, stop pushing for this. You can tell that these two women are not ready to to have conversations yet, and it feels like you're calling for drama, knowing fully well how this woman feel about how these women feel about each other. But just like, okay, at least one day they will have to settle. Maybe this is the right time. I know Chioma was like, I don't see why I have to be the bigger person all the time. You saw what she did. She tried to beat me. But Iyabo still pleaded with Chioma, and Chioma was like, okay, I'll think about it.
Doing good. Have you seen Tiana? At this point, I don't remember who Tiana is. I'm not Jesus Christ. I'm not in the habit of resurrecting people. She's dead to me, and that's that.
And we saw that after that scene, Iyabo invited Tiana to a place, like a man's place, for them to talk and catch up, because I think they haven't even seen since episode 1. Tiana arrived at Iyabo's place. She did mention, she mentioned the fact that it was very clear and very, very, it was glaring that Iyabo was happy with her man. She was happy where she was, and she's really happy, and it feels good to see her friend that's happy and bubbly. And when they settled in, they talked, they gisted, and Iyabo brought up the whole Chioma thing, and she was like, she really feels like they should settle their squabble now. She wants them to talk it out, that Chioma is having a yard sales. She feels like Tiana should come through, be the bigger person. They went back and forth. Tiana was very, very specific to mention that she doesn't like to be in a place where she's not invited. Iyabo went ahead to point out that she feels like one of Toyin's major wrong was charging at Chioma to beat her up. Tiana admitted that that was wrong in her own path, but put aside that situation, every other thing she did, she would do it again if that situation happens, if that situation repeats itself. But she ended up agreeing to be at Chioma's thing. I know the D-Day came. Faith was the first to arrive. She looked nice, glamorous, but quite simple and appropriate for the event. And, when she got in, she was quite surprised, taken aback, and maybe disappointed that there was nobody there. They were still setting up, no guests, no girls, no hosts. But she sat down there with her bodyguard, and afterwards Tania arrived as well, looking simple in a black dress. She exchanged pleasantries with Faith, and I think after then Chioma, the host, walks in. She was very happy about how everything turned out, and she greeted the ladies. Faith had something very silly to say in her confessionals about Chioma arriving. I'm just like, hey, you don't know the time Chioma of season 1. Chioma of season 1, you'd have waited for maybe 6 hours before she arrived. So the fact that she even came through before the other ladies, it's a miracle. But I don't think you should be that disappointed. The fact that there were no other guests there aside from you two ladies, it didn't feel like they were behind time. It didn't feel like it was time for the event and the host wasn't there. You just happened to come earlier than other people. I just feel like the reason why she was angry was because she didn't have the opportunity to do a grand entry and make a grand entrance into the place. I feel like that's where her pain is coming from. But just like, okay, whatever, Faith, you'll be fine. But After then, Mariam walks in, and Mariam, Iyabo came, they arrived, and when the ladies were pretty much seated, aside from Laurel and Tiana, who not everybody is aware that she's coming, Miriam tells Faith to call Laurel, that Laurel is running late. Faith says she doesn't have Laurel's number, or she doesn't have Nigerian number. I'm just like, but how do you call each other to meet up when people went to the beach? How do you communicate? Of course, people have been communicating on the phone. How do you people do it? Just say you don't want to be the one to call her or something. Because in her confessional, she was like, you guys have known Laura way before me, so why am I the one to call her? I'm like, okay, Auntie, no verse. Miriam and Iyabo had things to say about that statement of hers in their confessionals as well. I mean, I also felt like it was quite somehow that you would not want to call your friend claiming you don't have a number, you don't have a Nigerian number. And Miriam was so petty to even go ahead to give Faith Laurel's number, that for next time you should have your friend number, take her number. But afterwards, Laura arrived in a very not so Laurel kind of outfit, but it was nice, flower here and there, but okay, it works. I know they came in, they exchanged pleasantries, everybody was settled in. Afterwards, Tiana walks in, everybody was like, they were looking. Tiana walks in with this very big thingy behind her back. The old Tiana style was really going on in that old outfit. And the ladies were quite surprised that she came. Even Chioma's face was looking so not welcoming. And Tiana didn't fail to mention that in her confessionals. I know Tiana walked to Chioma first to hug her, and they just spoke briefly. And Tiana came with a very high spirit, which Chioma mentioned in her confessionals as well, because she noticed it. And because someone is very positive, high spirited, of course, it only made sense for Chioma to reciprocate that kind of energy. I know they chatted, they giggled, apologized for charging at Chioma at their reunion, and they spoke. And Chioma was like, okay, for the time being, in her confessionals, so that for the time being, she feels like this apology works. She doesn't know if it's genuine, but for the time being, and how she feels, and how Toyin is bringing the whole apology thing, she feels okay with it, and she thinks that it works, and everybody can have a nice night. And they were still talking. Even Toyin was like, you have a bad mouth, oh, hey, you this guy, you have a bad mouth. If I want to insult anybody, I'll come and call you, so help me insult them. Chioma, come and help me. And it was good. They make jokes here and there. Everybody was settled, and it felt like, okay, this night was going to be good and drama less, until Dr. Romeo, what's it called, just arrived. I'm just like, hey, hope he's not the one bringing the drama, because he already had this perception about these women, and he was just coming to, and he felt like he was coming to add drama. So he arrived, and believe me when I tell you that this man came to do the opposite of the attitude he was giving Faith when they met. Like, he came, he was saying very sweet things to the ladies, hugging them, pecking them, mwah, mwah, mwah. Oh, you look gorgeous. I love that piece. You look good. Oh, Tiana style. Can you come? I'm just like, hey. Are you stuttering in your attitude? Why are you shaking, sir? This was not what I expected you to do now. I know you come with an attitude, but I'm just joking, but considering all the things he had said about them, you would tell that he was such an hypocrite with how he was acting with the ladies. But okay, but the ladies tend to like his attitude. I feel like if they watch this episode, they'll be like, oh, okay, whatever. But he was very, they liked his vibe, they liked his energy, everybody had positive things. I mean, when he met Chioma and was talking to her, Chioma was a bit she was taken aback a bit, because she was just like, who is he? Who invited him? And I think later on she figured that he did invite him to the event, and everybody seemed to like him. Mariam had nice things to say. Even Toyin was looking forward to being his friend. Chioma was enjoying his vibe. Everybody was, liked him. And I kind of felt like Tanya was very laid back. The whole event, guests arrived, everybody was chatting. The event started off, drinks, food. Then the bidding started off with the models walking in wearing the dresses they were going to be bidding on. Everybody was bidding. Even Mariam participated heavily. She and Toyin were even fighting over a piece that they wanted to buy, but Toyin eventually got it.
1.6. Even Tiana is bidding for Choma's dresses. Who the hell would have thought? I mean, yesterday I was ready to box her teeth out. I don't know what it is, but today is going incredibly great. Can I get a 2 million? 1.6. Can I? 2 million. I have a. I said 2 million. No, 2 million. 2 million. What do you want? 2 million.
Laura even bought a dress for 500K or 550K. And Iyabo also bought something. Like everybody was, those three women, Iyabo, Mariam, Toyin, and Mariam, they participated heavily. But Chioma didn't fail to notice that, Faith was being nonchalant. She was just on her phone. And, in her own defense, in her confession, she said the dresses were not her style, but she didn't seem to be enjoying it. And everybody was enjoying it. It was even fun for the viewers to watch. And it's a scene that I'll definitely go back and watch again. But she just felt like, why should I even be here? Like, she was just giving attitude. Like, she felt very cold. But I feel, and even the same way with Tanya. I mean, Tanya was laughing. Let me take that back. Tanya was laughing. She was laughing at the jokes, all the little fights that were happening between the people that were bidding. She was laughing, but she didn't bid. And it's possible that she just didn't feel comfortable spending the amount of money on the pieces or bidding where they're probably wearing a star, but she was participating like fun. A fun side was coming out in the whole thing, but Faith was just cold, bidding no, chatting no, giggles no, nothing, nothing. The event went really well. The bidding session went really well. Demi Okolawon was the host for the event. He looked really good, made some jokes. Iyabo even came with her daughter. So, familiar faces here and there. And the event was really nice. I feel like it was a success. So that was where this episode ended off. But in the snippets for the coming episode, we saw Dr. Rommel complain about Tanya's cold attitude to Faith. And I don't know. I just feel like Tanya wasn't even. She didn't. Her personality didn't shine in this episode. She was just there. Aside from the scene she had with, Chioma at her own place, but in the gathering with the women, it feels like their personality was overpowering us. But and it's possible that she's just a very subtle, gentle, laid back person. Everybody doesn't need to be loud. Not everybody needs to be loud. Not everybody needs to be, you know, bubbly and high spirited. But I mean, we'll see what she does in coming episode. But I really want her personality to shine through because, like I mentioned in my last recap, I like her vibe, so I really want her to shine through when she's with the women as well. But yeah, this episode was fun, 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 fun. It wasn't very dramatic. It wasn't even dramatic, and I felt like it was much needed from that very. It was much needed considering the fact that we had a very dramatic beginning, mix and match, dramatic, not dramatic, like that, like that, like that. I feel like it's a good balance. What do you guys think about this episode? Did you enjoy this recap? Did you feel like you actually did watch the show? Let me know in the comments. Please subscribe to the channel if you're yet to subscribe, and I'll love to see my next review or my next recap. Until then, make sure to remain happy because you owe it to yourself. Bye, guys.